population.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then you also have it's a growing population,
Yes.
right? And so we've grown exponentially
Yes.
over the last 10 years.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe there wasn't a need for it 15 years ago or 10 years ago, but that's different than it is today.
Yes.
And maybe we've hit that critical mass where the population is big enough
Yes.
that we could be doing this.
Yes, indeed. I think that should be one of the goals. That should be one of our mission, to make sure that one day in Cincinnati we have a African Chamber of Commerce.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and hopefully with what is in place in Columbus now, they have an African Commission.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, they do and they don't. They have one on paper.
Yes.
But
There's no money.
But there's nothing that it does.
There's no money, but they
Right.
just appointed a few Africans.
So
as
that's
commissioners.
progress to actually
Yeah.
recognize that it should exist.
Yes. So, but this economic aspect, Steve, is really at the heart of what we can do to make sure that the Congolese community that's here is economically strong.
Uh-huh.
That's what really is going to set them free. We cannot focus on handouts of any public government. So if we can create wealth by ourselves, that's really the best direction that we can
Absolutely.
take.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah. So, and that's important for us, and that's why we're meeting with people like you to see how you can assist, how you can facilitate, how you can connect to the resources that already exist. Right.
Yeah, I want to say another challenge for young people like me is that the majority of them have already a bachelor, at least a bachelor degree from the country, and they don't know how to get in the work.
Yeah.
environment.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
A year ago, I have architecture background.
Mhm.
I drew a plan for one of my friends who want to open a restaurant. I made a plan, but the project was denied. But
Because you don't
because
have
you don't
I
have a
didn't know
license.
the regulation
Right,
of the
right.
state, but I don't have to start over school because I know, I have the knowledge, but there is few things that I need to add to perform a job. So this is another challenge for young people.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we need
And I think
always-
it's about information. Because I didn't restart. When I came here, I have my degree from the Congo. I was already a lawyer. And then I came here. They told me that I didn't have to start from the beginning. So they direct me to the program in Ohio State. And I believe you have also, they have also program for architecture.
And what we're doing in that
It's just
area,
information.
Steve,
We don't have.
yes,
most
we
of
we're
them
linking
for
them
the
to what may exist in the community in terms of
Yeah.
education. We organized a meeting with Great Oaks, was it last month?
Yeah.
Last month. We went there on a Saturday with close to about 50 plus Congolese young people showed up there, so they could get information about what Great Oaks offers. Yeah, because some of the technical programs that are there, you can do it in 10 months.
Right.
And get a certificate for you to be able to operate in this country.
Well, there are a few different issues here. I mean, the immigrant community traditionally is underemployed.
Right.
And they're underemployed because of this very issue.
Right.
You come with a degree, you
Right.
come with a technical training,
Right.
but it's not recognized
Right.
in the United
Right.
States. So
Right.
people are often told to start over.
Right.
And so they start over and go back to undergrad or something
Right.
like that. So there's that population. And then there's a population that comes without skills.
Right.
Yes.
And they need to build those job skills. And something like Great Oaks can be a
Right.
great opportunity
Yeah.
for them to
For them.
build those skills and get that certification.
Yes.
We also, the labor unions are a great opportunity as well. That, the unions have apprenticeship programs that we should channel people into that can learn the trades, learn the
Okay.
building trades, and various other, union shops.
Yes.
So it seems to me different issues.
Yes.
But this is exactly the type of thing that if there was a Chamber of Commerce in place, you could have a program that brings people in with degrees,
Yeah.
helps them determine how to get that recognized here in the state of Ohio.
Right.
Now, it's not always going to be recognized. If you come in as a doctor,
Yeah.
you may have to do things in order to be recognized as a doctor here in the United States.
Right.
If you come in as a professional architect already, there may be several steps you have to go through in order to be recognized and get a certificate and you know,
Yeah.
as an architect here.
Do you know some special link, that can help this case? Like,
All she
So
has to
if
do,
one-
go to universities.
So right, so at Cincinnati State, that's exactly what I did. So we worked with a lot of students that had previously earned degrees, whether they're bachelor's, master's, even a doctoral degree. Now, if you're looking to get an MD, you're looking at about 7-8 years of training again.
Yeah.
Or law, there's a program,
It
but
depends, though. You can get waivers.
you can get waivers, and so there are. But they're like, if nursing, we would have students that come in with a nursing degree. And then they started at Cincinnati State. It's like, okay, it's good that you're there for the ESL, but you don't need to go through the 4 years of a bachelor's degree to get a BSN. You can just take a few classes. Here is from Ohio Board of Nursing, the requirements for licensure. Take your TOEFL test, get your credits evaluated for U.S. credit through WES or ECE or Ed Perspectives, and then apply for take the NCLEX, the state, so the same thing is in architecture as well. So like architecture, engineering.
Yeah.
So other states have created through like what an organization called Upwardly Global have created those pathways to get licensure in architecture, engineering, medical field, and a variety of others. What we're trying to do that here in Ohio as well at the state level, but also locally, because and you're right. Right now, for those individuals that should go through the universities, but even sometimes the university, it's finding that person.
That's the whole.
So I mean, if you have immediate questions, I'm happy to talk to you about those kind of things,
Yeah.
and then other people as well. But I think there's one thing to build, like to have this information is helpful as we're trying to push for whether it's contextualized ESL through Great Oaks or going through that interview process to someone who has a degree but needs to understand what does a job search look like in the U.S. What does a resume look like? You're not going to put that you're married and your religion and those things, or a picture, those kind of things. And also the interview, but things like that, is what we're trying to do.
Can I add something? I mean, this is where you have to advocate for immigrants. Like, for example, the state of Ohio, for lawyers, they're making it hard for a foreign attorney like me to sit on the bar. You have to go, beside that you went back to school, got your master, and got all your credential, you have to add again and like 32 credit before to sit. That's why I'm licensed in New York and I do immigration only. But I want to practice in Ohio too, but I have to add again like 32 credit, and they changed the law not a while ago. But we have a lot of foreign attorneys. We have a lot of women here, the Congolese community, attorneys.
Yes.
But they work in warehouses.
Yeah. And even
Because they don't
doctors,
see
medical
no
doctors.
hope to go
We don't.
to
We
university,
yeah.
and then they're not going to be able to practice law here in Ohio. I'm kind of the courageous person here because I did it, but I'm limited because I have to take again those 32 credits
Right.
to get my Ohio license.
So
Maybe if you can advocate
Can you
to
get a
the
waiver?
Ohio Bar Association.
Can you get a
For
waiver
us?
from the Bar Association? I would
No,
think.
they don't give you a waiver.
Not for the
They
bar.
just want you to add the 32
Yeah.
credits beside the credit you have already for
Yeah.
university here.
So it looks like there's
I went to Ohio State. I
Yes,
did my
strict mandates.
master in law, and then I sat on the bar in New York. I passed the bar, and New York bar is very hard than Ohio bar.
Uh-huh.
But in order for me to go to Ohio bar, they add again credit. So this is where I was like, oh my God, I have to get again the credit, and then I was like, let me start first, and then they don't even have those that because you are licensed to another state, you can just come here and then you just no, you have to
You have to get Ohio.
Ohio.
Okay.
This
All right.
is very hard for foreign attorneys and a lot of women that I know, Congolese women.
Yeah.
They are attorneys, that they
But they
work
can
in
practice.
a warehouse.
Yeah. And we
Some
have
of them
medical
became
doctors as well.
nurse.
Yeah, we have medical
They don't
doctors.
like that. They're just doing it.
So
because
there's a
they
lot
have to
of,
do that,
trained
and they want to
folks.
live in Ohio.
Mhm.
They don't want to move in New. I don't want to move in New York. I don't want to go. This is a good place to raise your children, and I like the fact that it's kind of a little bit conservative and mixed, liberal, all that. We have everything here. It's not like it's a swing state. I like this. So, if you can advocate,
If there's a
for
group of
foreign
you,
material-
if there's a group of you that would like to meet, I can
Mhm.
get some attorneys who are familiar with the bar here
Yeah.
and or state legislators
yeah.
to talk to you, and I would like you to educate them on the challenges.
Oh.
Good.
I think a lot of
Oh, I'm
times
glad
this
you
is
do
just
that.
ignorance.
Yes.
Yes.
It's just ignorance on the part
information.
of the state,
Mhm.
you know, and the changes are not necessarily difficult to make, but the barriers, people don't see the barriers.
Yeah.
You know, if you are an Ohioan and you grew up here, you don't see the barriers you put in place
Mhm.
to others all the time.
Yeah.
So I'd be very interested in exploring this,
Yeah.
and I know plenty of people in the state legislature
Yeah.
that we
Really.
could approach.
Good.
If they can do that for all these women that we
Yeah.
have, we have like more than 10 attorneys, Congolese attorneys here.
And I know two from Nigeria that practice law as well.
There
And
you
so
go.
there's a group of people
That have already that experience.
But I'm
Maybe they
the
can talk
only,
to them.
it's only two of us, me and Mianda, that are licensed. She's licensed in Minnesota and Massachusetts. And I'm licensed in New York, but nobody's licensed in Ohio.
Well, listen, I can easily put together a
Mhm.
meeting of some attorneys in town
Yeah.
that are close to the bar.
Yeah.
Also judges and state legislators.
Yeah.
That this is my experience. I know these folks, and so
Yeah.
I can bring these people together to meet with you. So I
Mhm.
can coordinate that.
Okay.
That would be great for all of us, not only Congolese community.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Even
and those
other
from other communities
communities.
that have the same issues.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I know a lot of them that have the same issues.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Anything else that we need to add, so
And
Steve
also,
and Brian?
like, I wanna emphasize what they say about the building.
Yes.
Congolese community on the part, they didn't, they were not organized like it's now. Thank you, Professor. He's humble. He doesn't talk about him. But if we have a place, it's going to be easier to kind of connect and also educate the people. As you say, some of the people come here without skill. But if we can link them to the good place for skill, get basic knowledge, computer skills, English skills, because the problem is also the language,
Sure.
and citizenship. A lot of Congolese are American, but they do not vote.
You have to register to
They do
vote.
not
That's a shame.
vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they don't.
Yeah.
The first time I voted was in America.
Mhm.
I was born in 1970. From 1972, now I never voted in my country because we have a dictator. Basically, it was not a vote. You have a green paper and a red paper. You have to get the green and then put it on the ballot. If you get the red, they're waiting for you outside.
Yeah.
So it was not a vote. So I voted. The first time in my life I was for.
Yeah, right here in America.
I was for.
So I
So
think
a lot of people they're not used to it, so they don't really pay attention. But if we kind of give them this, teach them citizenship, they will be on the back. First thing, they will be there because they will understand why we're doing that. Why I'm voting, my vote counts. Nobody believes that their vote counts because that's how we used to.
Yeah, the cultural.
But
Mhm.
they need to know that their vote counts. They can change things, and we need a place. We really need a place.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that it's hard, like for like an organization to kind of bestow a place for you, but it would be helpful if they can link us, even to facility that could make it easier for a type of organization like us to get unions.
Mhm.
It will be very, very helpful.
Good point.
And I'd like to come back to that transportation. I want to make sure Steve.
It's important.
I appreciate your comments, too.
On that, there is that long-term solution, but we need a short-term solution.
Well, I think
Because everybody we have like a big weight on our shoulders right now.
Wait. Yes.
So help us. I don't know how you guys are gonna connect us. I don't know what you're gonna do. I don't know what resources we're gonna contact. But we need something right now. We need to get something, some van or one or two. That's gonna be helpful. The driving, the insurance, all that stuff. We're gonna take care of that. But right now we need help on that.
I think the best way to do that is to go to the employers and to approach the employers for assistance in, perhaps purchasing vans or things like that.
I think we're going to
It makes
explore
sense.
that avenue as well. So we need to explore that and see how they see it, whether or not they can actually support it. But it's for the benefit. If
absolutely.
employees can get there on time, so be it. So that's a good idea. But it's hard for employers to.
I don't see that coming from the
Employer.
employer. I don't. Maybe
If
maybe
they
wrong.
see the if
I don't
we
know
show
how
them
you're
the
gonna approach
benefit,
that.
They will.
Yeah, but you there or there, and then maybe it's easy for them to get.
That's why we
To
need
hire
a
people.
place. If we have a place, they know us like a strong organization, giving them people, the employees,
Employees.
they could help. But if they see us just like a name on a computer, they're not going to come. Yeah. If they know us as a strong organization.
Do you
that-
plan to talk to them, or I didn't get that?
Well, I don't know. I'm just thinking this through right now.
So
I think it's
if you-
worthwhile.
You may want to review all the resources you have or the contact you have, and to see how I don't know, maybe we're going to leave and you stay, find a solution.
I can't tell you that we're going to address this tomorrow, okay? But it is something that we're going to take a look at and see what we might be able to do. I do think engaging the employers is something that we need to do. One of the things that surprised me when we started in this job was that I asked folks at the chamber, who are the employers? Who is employing the immigrant community? They couldn't tell me at the Chamber of Commerce.
No.
And so that's why we're asking, who are the employers?
Yeah.
And it's very helpful to know, okay, these are the employers, so
Yeah.
now at least I have this information.
Right.
And I can go to them and say, hey, this might be something that we should take a look at.
Yeah, that's one of the best approaches, by the way. If you're not getting information from the top down, you can get it from the bottom up.
It's always
Some
better
of
to
them
go.
are scared. They think like immigrant is associated with illegal immigration, but there's resources now for employer to verify if
Sure.
the people that are coming have documents. So
Yeah.
they can use that.
Yeah.
Not only be scared because they see an immigrant.
Yeah.
For them it's like, he's undocumented, doesn't have paper, I don't want to hire him because I'm going to have problem with. Maybe if you guys advocate for us, tell them that immigrant population is not only illegal population. They
And-
will hire more people.
Right. And also, I
Yeah.
appreciate the way you're doing it here in Cincinnati, because I believe in Dayton, they have Welcome Dayton organization in place, which has been in place for quite a few years now. So I'm not sure they're doing what you're doing, like really meeting with folks and understanding their needs, understanding the challenges that they face. I'm not sure they're doing that. So this is good to see the process taking place and talking to us and maybe knowing the challenges and go from there to see how you can organize strategies then to facilitate the welcoming aspect of immigrants in our area.
You know, we are talking to those other organizations around, but really, you know, and we take learnings from them, but I think location is unique.
Yes.
And so our priorities may be different than the priorities in Dayton, may be different than the priorities in Cleveland.
Right.
You know, Cleveland is really pushing people to get citizenship and working in those citizenship applications and really driving people towards citizenship, which is a great thing. And I think we should encourage that as well.
Yeah.
But I really want to know the immediate concerns and the barriers that are faced by the immigrant population and see how we can link. And one of the big ones that's very clear to me is communication.
Yes.
And just having, you know, what we can do is be that centralized communication hub that communicates with across all of the immigrant groups, but then helping you communicate with each other, I think is very, very important.
Right.
Because, you know, what you're describing, especially up in, you know, the northern part of the county, is exactly what the Bhutanese are facing right now as well. We just heard from them. And the Ghanaians are facing the same thing. And many of the Ghanaians are living in the same area. And so, and Price Hill, the Guatemalans are facing very similar issues, you know, to the Congolese. And I think linking these populations is very, very helpful.
Steve, there used to be in Cincinnati many years ago an organization called the Inter-Ethnic Council.
Inter-Ethnic
Council. I'm not sure whether it exists any longer.
I don't know.
It used to be an office in the City Hall.
Really?
Yeah, Inter-Ethnic Council.
How long ago?
Oh,
I've never heard of it.
10 years ago.
Well, if it was at City Hall, then it could very easily be gone.
Yeah, check it out and see whether it exists anymore.
Okay.
But then it had a lot of members from all over, all the ethnic groups right here in Cincinnati.
Well, and I think, you know, when political leadership changes, that changes.
Yeah,
And so,
that's true, yeah.
Is
I'm-
there, oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
I was going to ask around just the organization. So, is there connections like you mentioned people in Louisville and Lexington here and some parts of Indiana? Are there connections either in like Columbus, Cleveland, Akron, Toledo? Are there Congolese populations there? And if so, are you in communication? And is there a statewide organization?
There is no statewide organization as we speak. There are those local associations of the Congolese community in those areas. I just spoke with the one in Cleveland 4 days ago, last week, about connecting with them and trying to see what it is they're doing there that we can actually start collaborating on. We know the ones in Columbus, we know the one in Lexington, northern Kentucky as well, and there's one in Louisville, we're talking to them, and the one in Indianapolis. But we have not. It's my goal before my mandate ends to make sure that we connect these groupings. So we begin thinking about having a statewide association to go from there. So, but as of now, there's none.
Because that would help with, talking to state representatives around just sort of a larger voice to say, like, we were talking about the Bhutanese community, there's like 20, 30, 70,000 people, Bhutanese community, and we asked the same question there, is like, is there a statewide representation? Like, no, but if there could be, then that would be helpful with addressing issues of transportation at the state level, addressing issues of employment, getting access to, like, small business development or whatever it may be. So, answering this question of like the bar requirements to pass the Ohio bar,
But isn't there like an Ohio Immigrant Coalition? I think there is some type of entity.
We can check on that.
There's an immigrant. So there's an Immigrant Dignity Coalition, and there's various ones. This is what we were talking about with the call the other day. But there is no. It's like Michigan has an Office of New Americans. Tennessee has Welcome Tennessee. So what one of the initiatives we're trying to push for is an Office of New Americans at the state level. Now, granted, we're about to shift governors, and this could all fall apart. But as that develops, it'd be helpful to have statewide representation.
I think there was a broader immigrant coalition though that existed at the state level, not as part of the government, but as an independent entity. That I'll have to look into it.
I will look into it as well. I think I had some contact with a guy, a friend of mine who's from Ethiopia in Columbus. I can check with him because he was well versed into this immigrant aspect of it. I know they had meetings with the governor, Ted, and then before Ted, who was it? Barnaby?
It was
Taft, yeah, and then Ted, and then I think with the new governor as well. But I'll check with him and see if there is one at the state level.
Well, look, this is very, very helpful. I need to go to another meeting.
Yes.
But I'm glad that we were able to touch base. I have cards that I'm in my office. I'm happy to give to you. But let's stay in touch. Why don't you talk to Brian about specifically your case, and then we can look at some of these other issues as well.
This is actually where I work.
Oh, great.
I don't have the community's card. That's Steve.
Talks about what we are, what we do.
Yeah.
Let
me get you my cards.
Yeah, I hope we can continue I'm sure we will continue the conversation and the dialogue to be able to, with programs.
My card as well.
Thank you. Do you take referrals?
Yep.
Are you familiar with the Immigrant and Refugee Law Center that has started up?
No.
So the Immigrant
I think I have yours.
See, sometimes we
I think I have already.
Yes, you have
investigation. It's very hard to
I have
go
Brian.
and just knock on the door to those organizations. But what we do is I offer like speaking engagement. Like I did with the community in Columbus. I went there to talk about family-based visa because there's a tendency to talk about family-based visa in a negative way, like chain of migration.
Yeah.
Well, it's not true because it's not for everybody. You have to be qualified to come as a family member. So it's not a chain of people coming, it's some people. So I went there, it was very good.
Right.
Very good. And this is how I make myself known. But I cannot just go knock on the door and say, hey, here I am, I'm alone. Ethically, I'm not allowed.
Okay.
But you can
Can I introduce you?
Yeah.
Because they're looking for both, current, who can practice in the state of Ohio and those who can't. But you have that background.
Yeah.
That would be, I think people would be very interested in. You can be a good resource for a lot of people that we work with. So.
All right, Steve, thank you. Brian,
Thank you.
We stay in touch.
Yeah,
Thank you for, and look, like I said, we just started.
Yes.
So as much as I would like to fix the transportation problem tomorrow, know that we're committed to it and we're going to do it. But right now we're just learning what the issues are and what the challenges are.
Yeah.
And but it's very, very helpful because when I hear this time and time again from different communities, then obviously there's a problem that we need to address.
Exactly.
But I also see it as an opportunity.
Exactly.
I think there's room for a business here that provides a shuttle service that I think is real.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so let's think about how that can work. But thank you guys for coming.
Thank you
Very, very much.
Thank you.